This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Red.
And Red, before I interrupt you for the third time, why don't you tell everybody about your channel?
I run a channel on BitChute. It's a really cool website. Go check it out. My channel is just kind of a little vlog discussion channel about games. So come on over, watch some of my videos, leave some comments, and we'll have a discussion. It's a lot of fun.
And if you type in Colors of Gaming in quotation marks, you can find their channel on YouTube. They have 16 subscribers.
Oh, I didn't even know that, so that's awesome to know.
The easiest way to find them, and this is the way you have to find our channel too. Google doesn't trust you when you type in things into the search bar, so they try to correct you. So if you type in use quotation marks, Google will search directly for what you type. So if you type in quotation marks, Colors of Gaming, you can find them. But if you type in Colors of Gaming, you can't find them. Because they're like, oh, you meant Colors Gaming. So this quotation marks are Colors Fade Gaming. I mean, seriously, look. Google does not trust that I knew what I was typing.
No.
There it is. You got to search a little farther down to find them.
That's
like,
cool that it's there now, so. But.
Like if you type in CHRILLCAST, watch what happens. Oh, well, you know what? I'm
Oh,
logged
there it
in.
is.
I'm logged in, that's why.
You guys have made it.
I know.
Yes!
We're famous.
No, usually it says, did you mean Chromecast? And I'm like, that's not even the same. Like, there's no...
Or the CHRILLCAST.
Or the CHRILLCAST. Or any number of weird variations of the name. It's like, no. I mean, come on, dude. Just because we spelled the word krill wrong doesn't mean we didn't mean CHRILLCAST. By the way, I'm going to... One of these days, Red, I'm going to hire Green to make us a new logo, because I love the ones you guys have. They're really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Be cool. I think she told me about that. She's excited. So.
Yeah, well, we'll have to, because this krill is cool. He looks fierce, but I think it could use some more stylistic choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more. We could make it fiercer.
Yes, I made this, by the way. I did all the logos for our channel.
That's really good.
Thanks. Not to toot my own horn or anything. All right,
No,
so
it's not like he says this every time, but it's fine. It's fine.
so Red, what's the first 2D series you remember seeing when you were in your younger days? Let's call it that.
The very first 2D series.
Yes.
I think the very first game I ever played that was 2D had to have been Mega Man X. I want to say, yeah.
Mega Man X. Here, we'll
Yep.
just pull this one up. World of Long Plays. This channel, whenever we look up old games, always comes up.
Oh yeah. Good channel.
You ever play it? You ever watch it?
The
World of
I've-
Long
I've-
Plays?
I've watched some of them.
Okay.
It's some good stuff. It's just no commentary.
Just
Nice.
playing the game?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you would like to be when your channel gets massive? I don't even want to talk. I'm just going to play the games.
Nah, I like talking about games.
Okay,
Everybody
okay.
thinks you're smart when you do it. You know?
Not us. They don't think we're very smart.
Yeah, no.
Well, I guess I don't know that, but I can pretend people think I'm smart.
There you go. So yeah, Mega Man X. Okay, I actually, funny story. I never played the Mega Man games when I was younger. I don't know why, but I guess an Iron Man-esque character never appealed to me when I was a kid. Maybe, I don't know. But the first time I heard of Mega Man was I was probably already in my teens, and one of my friend's older brothers was doing a YouTube channel and doing a ton of Mega Man plays, and so I looked him up and I was like, I don't remember this game. I looked up, I was like, oh man, this was out when I was a kid and I never played it. And it was very popular. I was like, wow, I've never even played this franchise before. So, yeah,
Okay.
I guess Mega Man never appealed to me when I was a kid, so sorry, Red.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, I only knew about it because a friend had invited me to his house in the
Okay.
90s as Nirvana was playing. I played this. You know, we had our Slurpees and Street Sharks.
There you go. What about you, Will? What's your first 2D series you ever played?
Alleyway.
Alleyway.
The Yep. The Game Boy. I believe that's the name of the.
Sounds spooky.
It's not.
Oh, sorry.
This? Like
Yes.
Brick Breaker?
That's it. That's
Essentially,
it.
Brick Breaker?
But Mario
this
gets
is.
into the little car thing.
This is,
Or a
World
little
Long. Look at
spaceship.
this. Yet again. World of Long plays. We're giving you a
I'm
lot
already
of plugs. This is Brick Breaker, dude.
Spooky game. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
what's called Alleyway.
This is literally Brick Breaker. I'm talking like platformers or something like not.
All right. Well,
not
the
like
first
this. Like
platformer
this.
then
This
would be
obviously
Super Mario
doesn't.
Land. on
This
the Game
doesn't
Boy.
translate to 3D. Well, this is like not even the point of
Hey,
this video.
someone could figure it out, Chris.
This is,
All right,
this is
Super
like
Mario
essentially
Land on the
Galaga.
Game Boy.
Super Mario on the game. So Game Boy.
Super
I thought
Mario
you had
Land, yeah.
I thought you had an NES.
I did not know.
Oh,
My
okay.
brothers had a Super Nintendo, but I had never played it, and I've never seen it.
Wow.
Yep, this is it right here.
Long play. I didn't even know longplays.net existed. That's cool. I wonder if it still exists.
This game had an awesome track.
Did it?
Yes.
An 8-bit track that was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, there's no save to this game either, so you had to
Ooh.
beat it at one time,
Mm.
Interesting.
which is immensely frustrating for like a 4-year-old.
So I had some combination of there was 2 series that I played a lot of when I was younger, and actually my uncle, shout out to my uncle, gave us our NES when we were kids. So we had an NES to begin with. My sisters had the SNES, so we didn't get the SNES.
Missed a heart just then. Sorry.
We didn't get to play the SNES because my sisters are significantly older than I am. Like they were playing DOS games when those were a thing, right? Because my dad was a IT guy and he had a ton of DOS games at one point in time. Anyways, so we were playing a lot of NES games because my sisters wanted the SNES to themselves and didn't want me and my us young punks playing the SNES because it was their thing. So what we played was Skate or Die. I remember playing this.
Oh,
NES
okay.
Skate or Die. And I was so confused by this game. All right, we played this like twice, and they were like, "Nope, not for us." So, and this is another World of Long Plays video. This is like their channel has like everything I'm looking at today. So I could never figure out how to do this game when I was a kid. I'd look at the thing, I'd wipe out on the skateboard. Yeah, so there's that. But no, the first series I remember playing significant amount of time on was Super Mario Bros., the original one.
Okay.
We played this a lot when we were kids. And I almost got an NES Mini, but I thought, you know what? I could literally just play this on just about any game system I own. The Wii, the Wii U, buy a new version. You can literally play this on anything. This will probably play on a brick. So this game is iconic. A lot of people have played it. I don't need to plug it. It's great. All right, Mario has survived the test of time.
Yeah.
I also, when we finally got our hands on the SNES, the first game series I remember being extremely into was Donkey Kong Country. And I still love Donkey Kong Country to this day. So, 2D, right? These series, of the ones we've talked about, which ones made the jump to 3D? Did Mega Man make it?
Besides,
Well, I didn't even know that there was Mega Man 3D games until just a little bit ago. But apparently there are, and they're all terrible. So I guess it tried to make the jump, but didn't quite make it.
I think it was on the GameCube, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
Mega Man 3D games. Legends, I think that's what it is. Yeah, PlayStation. PlayStation, that's right. They even had another one. What the heck was it called? Tron-Bon. That's actually also a Mega Man series game on the PlayStation. And it's the quote-unquote anti-hero of the Mega Man series. So it's kind of funny because it doesn't look like a Mega Man game at all, does it?
No.
And it's called The Misadventures of Tron-Bon. You wouldn't even realize this is in the same series as
Nope.
Mega Man just by looking at that cover. But look at
Yeah.
the bottom in small letters. From the creators of the Mega Man Legends game. Which, if you didn't like Mega Man Legends, boom, now you don't want to play this game either.
Yeah.
So Mega Man didn't make a good jump from 2D to 3D. Battletoads didn't really make it at all to 3D. And I love Battletoads, which I didn't actually play that until I got a little older. And then, Will, you said Super Mario. Obviously, Mario has made the transition.
Mario made it.
In fact, in glorious fashion with Mario 64. Super Mario 64, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They made the jump to 3D and also went back to 2D. So now there's two different series.
For sure. Are you guys hearing something on my end here?
Not really.
1 second.
Just a really annoying voice.
My goodness, are you guys friends?
On some days, yes.
Okay, must have just been me hearing it. All right, whatever that noise was is gone. I'm not even gonna cut that out. I'm not gonna bother editing that out.
You'll enjoy my joke.
Uh-oh. Kind of like the last time I got up during a podcast and you said he's picking his nose. Did you do that again?
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Okay. Anyways, where was I? Oh,
Mega
Mario.
Man didn't really get. Oh, Mario, yeah.
I want YouTube, not Google. I fail at typing. Mario 64. Honestly, Mario is probably the best example going from 2D to 3D to HD of any series ever because it survived everything. Hey, it's not World of Long Plays. TTDLX. I have no idea what that channel is.
Oh, dang.
Cool stuff. Mario, every version of Mario has made a good jump from 2D to 3D, basically. Except for the weird educational games on the NES. I hope those games never see the light of day ever again, personally. But Mario Kart made an excellent transition from 2D to 3D. And Donkey Kong, 2D to 3D, excellent. Of those series, what would you say, besides Mario, is a good example of a 2D to 3D to HD series? Well,
you only left me with one option.
okay.
You said Donkey Kong and Mario. Between those two, other than Mario.
No, not just those two.
Obviously,
options.
Donkey Kong.
Well, no, but it didn't technically go to HD. I mean, you literally go from 2D to 3D back to 2D.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it is an HD game.
2D and HD, but yeah. So for Donkey Kong, yeah. Although Donkey Kong 64, in my opinion, was a great game, for whatever reason, that concept died with that game. So I don't know if they'll ever make a 3D Donkey Kong again. I don't know why they wouldn't, because I feel like it was a good idea. But I guess it just didn't resonate with the player base and didn't resonate with the developers, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rod? You got any examples of a series that went from 2D to 3D to HD well?
I actually am not sure if you said this already, but Zelda, for sure.
There we go. I was waiting for somebody to bring that up, because I was like, I'm not going to bring up every series by myself here. I want somebody to come up with something else.
And I think
basically Nintendo is killing it.
well, that, and I was actually thinking about this the other day. You could say like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but was it popular when it was 2D?
It was popular enough.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's surprising how much Grand Theft Auto has grown, and
oh yeah,
just what they've done for the industry as well with the, Grand Theft Auto 3.
True.
So
I want to talk about some series now that did not make a good transition from 2D to 3D to HD. I'm gonna start with Sonic.
Yeah. Oh man, that was gonna be mine. I was like, that's the one that shouldn't have transitioned.
Never. That game should never transition out of 2D. Another good example, obviously Red. You go ahead and say it.
Oh shoot, Mega Man.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh crap. But yeah.
Another one, actually a backwards fan-made version of a Halo game in 2D was fantastic. Halo 0, if you ever get a chance to play that, that was awesome.
Okay.
but that was a fan-made thing. But as far as Donkey Kong Country, obviously it was a successful 2D game, and it actually sold really well as Donkey Kong 64, but then it was lost to time after that. And it's actually its predecessor, the game that I believe it's based off of, Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. It also never made a good transition to HD. They got Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which...
That was a great game. What are you talking about? It's the best one of the series.
No. Shut your mouth.
Do you actually like it, Will? I'm just curious.
The thing is, so at the time, I thought it was enjoyable because I hadn't played the first two, and then I went back and played the first two. It's like, wow, this is nothing. This is not even remotely similar.
So here's the thing, all right? When you take a series and you try to change it significantly, you're going to get a lot of backlash from the fans unless you do it well. Yeah. In the case of Mario, you took a 2D platformer and literally made the best iteration of a 3D game I've ever seen in my life, transitioning from 2D to 3D. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally Mario. You don't feel like you're in a different series.
Yeah.
Other than Zelda, I think Zelda would contend for that spot too.
But it feels different. It does, like Zelda 2D to 3D is the same series. It's in the same Historia. What do you want to call it? And it feels like a Zelda game, but it doesn't make the transition as good as Mario. Mario doesn't feel like a different game, 2D to 3D. Zelda does because of the sword, I think. Like, you go from top down sword slash across the map to like physical combat. It looks more realistic. Mario never loses the unrealistic themes that it started with. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
I guess I can see that.
Like, Mario's universe doesn't change going from 2D to 3D. Zelda, I think, significantly does. And you get things like the Z-axis, right? Whereas Mario, you're just jumping. You know, you're just doing things that already existed in the Mario universe. Zelda, there is no jumping in 2D, unless you include Link's Awakening, which has some platforming to it. Jumping is not really a thing. It is, but it isn't. Like, it's not the same. It just feels different to me, and that's because I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel as translatable from 2D to 3D as Mario was. That's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see both of your guys' points because it feels really different just because of that 3D aspect of it, and the combat is different. You have to have that lock on, where with the 2D, the combat was completely different. You just kind of swung your sword whenever you could. You didn't have to lock onto things. But I also see that the basic formula for what makes a Zelda game, such as something like Link to a Link to the Past, was still there with Ocarina of Time. So you guys are both right. It's a matter of opinion.
Yeah. And on top of that, the fundamentals of the Zelda items changed from 2D to 3D. Whereas Mario, everything you did in a 2D game is in the 3D game, and it does the same thing. You just have an extra axis.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think even Donkey Kong didn't make as smooth of a transition as Mario did.
Probably not.
Another
series, I would definitely say,
another series that made the jump from 2D to 3D but lost into HD, F-Zero.
Yeah.
And F-Zero is fantastic.
One that I really like that was really good in 2D and 3D, but then we never got a HD game. Well, we did, but it was in 2D again, was the Rayman series.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really enjoy Rayman, Great Escape, and Hoodlum Havoc, but right after that, they went back to 2D, and I just think it's crazy. It looks like they're being successful, though, so that's awesome.
Rayman is awesome. Dude, The Great Escape, I had so much fun playing that in the N64. I know that's not like the definitive version of the Rayman 2 game. I think PS2 has the definitive version. I'm not 100%. One of the PlayStations, I think, got the definitive version of Rayman 2: The Great Escape. I'll even go so far as to say I bought that on an iPhone, or iPod Touch, I should say, when it came out on the iPod Touch. I love that game so much.
How was it to play on that?
Horrible. Don't
That's
do
what I
it.
was thinking. I can't even imagine.
I have the same sentiment as there's a Scott the Woz video on mobile console games, where he talks about how they ported basically everything and the kitchen sink to the iPods and the iPhones back in the day.
No.
And none of it really worked as well as it did on a console. I have the exact same opinion. I bought so many games that were console only, and I regret every single one I bought. They were just lesser. They were lesser ports. But in general, there's really, I think what we've proven today is platformers that were collectathons that transitioned to 3D did not make a good transition to HD. Collectathons have essentially died.
Yeah, well, I
Unfortunately.
think that as a genre has died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The thing with Mario is it doesn't, although it essentially is a collectathon, as you can see, you're collecting coins the entire time and like
Doesn't feel like
the stars, but it doesn't feel like it. So I think that's what's kept it around for as long as it's been around. Whereas, things like Banjo and Kazooie, Donkey Kong to an extent, it's kind of died off.
I don't understand why they have died, though, because I think that there's a huge market for it, especially with how big Ukulele got when they were doing the fundraising for that. And also, there's a game that I reviewed on my channel called A Hat in Time that is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that there's definitely a market for it. And I don't know, maybe new players just aren't into it. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's that new players aren't into it, because a lot of indie games tend to be, there's a lot of collectathon indie games, but AAA development of collectathons is basically done. And I'll tell you why. My theory, just a game theory, but I think it's got to do with money, because how do you expand a collectathon, right? Like, who's going to say, yeah, I'll pay $5 to add another item I can collect in this game?
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I'll pay $5 for a skin. I mean, maybe the skins thing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But in general, like, it's mostly a single player locked type of game. There's no MMO element to pay for a service. Basically, EA, Activision, those types of companies, they're not going to make this type of game anymore. And unfortunately, Microsoft has basically said, we're not going to do this with Rare. Even though this is like Rare's forte, they've decided to just throw that all away. Basically. Except for Sea of Thieves, is that kind of a collectathon?
No, maybe. I guess it depends on how you. I mean, all you do is collect treasure chests and skulls and such, but
well,
I mean, you can probably reduce any game to that level, honestly.
Yeah,
sure.
You could probably argue that the big AAA games, like the open world ones, like Assassin's Creed, are similar to collectathons. So
That's
maybe
true.
maybe it's just too close to an open world game, and they say, the big executives are like puffing on their cigars, and they're like, I don't know about this. Why would we make the world smaller? The kids want them big, so.
Bigger is better.
Yeah, so I could see that too. A lot of different factors that are probably going into that.
But certainly, I think we can all agree, the series that has had the biggest impact from 2D to 3D to HD has to be Mario. And thankfully, Nintendo is bringing Metroid back, and that'll be another series that has successfully made a transition from 2D to 3D to HD.
Yep, and also
Hopefully.
similar to Mario, it's also gone back to 2D.
Yeah, it's done some 2D stuff. I think Metroid is probably one of the best side-scrolling shooter games. Better than Mega Man.
That's okay. I agree with you.
Okay.
So-
Okay. But I think that Metroid is also it's a collectathon. It is really at its heart. It's an exploration-based collectathon versus, like, I guess they're all kind of exploration-based, but it's one of the only 2D games growing up that I played that I felt like, oh, I can go backtrack, right? Like Mario, as soon as you go to the right side of the frame, you can't go backwards in the original Mario. And I always thought that was weird, because when I played Metroid, I could backtrack all I wanted.
Yeah. I remember Super Mario Brothers Deluxe on the Game Boy Color blew my mind because I could walk backwards. I could go back here. I was like, this is the future.
Yeah.
Go back to the past.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's awesome.
if you guys have anything to add, now's your time. Will?
I think it was really hard for most games to go from 2D to 3D. However, it seems much easier for games that started off in 3D to make the transition to HD.
How about you?
I would also agree with that. I'd agree with that. So,
All right. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And since we forgot to remind you at the first 2 videos, please like our video, subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to Colors of Gaming, and comment on this video how much you like or dislike this video. Especially you, Garth
Hopefully
Benjamin. As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
and I'm Red.
And we will see you
On the next CHRILLCAST.